Hello and welcome to Community Conversations. My name is Beach Pace and I get to be the mayor of Hillsboro, and we're coming to you today from the new Hillsboro Hops Ballpark. Amazing. And we're joined today by Michaela Kennedy, who is on staff at Hillsboro, City of Hillsboro. Thanks for joining us, Michaela.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Mayor. Appreciate it.
So you went through a pretty intense process to set up and design our community flag.
Yes.
And it wasn't just you.
It was not me.
Yeah.
It was not just me. It was
Yeah.
the entire community.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
So before we jump into the process,
Yes.
I'd love to know, what are the elements of the flag? You have it on the scarf right here.
Wanted to show off the scarf really quickly. So if you were at the State of the City, we received these scarves and it has our community flag on it. A few things about this flag. So I'll start off with the background. And I have notes here because I want to make sure I'm going off the official description. I think the beautiful thing about a community flag is that it's up for interpretation, right? But I'll just start off with the official description. So the background is tying in our agricultural roots. So it's actually
our heritage.
Our bird's eye view, which I think is just a really incredible artistic selection and how that's being portrayed. So that really ties in our agricultural roots and our just connection to nature. I'll move on to the marigold circle. So the circle right there. When we were going through the community engagement process, we heard words like unity. And we're like, how do we put unity onto a community flag? And so a circle really signifies that. The color itself, we had asked folks, what are some colors that show up aside from the blue and green? Because I think that's what Hillsboro is really known for. The marigold was the third most popular color that had showed up. So that really ties into that unity, the historical richness of what marigold really stands for. And the blue, right? The blue right there just signifies more of this kind of welcoming tone. It's a great contrast with the green and the gold. And then last but not least is just kind of the beautiful trillium. If you didn't know what the trillium is, that is the flower that is showing up. And that really ties into a few different things. One is just the historical significance of a trillium flower within Hillsboro in its entirety in this region.
I see it everywhere in the spring.
Yes.
When I go to Noble Woods and just anywhere really.
Right, when you're doing a volunteer project and kind of pulling ivy, invasive ivy, and then you see a trillium. I actually found out through this process that a trillium blooms, it takes 7 years, about 7 years for it to bloom. So, growing great things in Hillsboro, right? It takes time. And then, it ties into our indigenous community. Our indigenous communities have used trillium as a medicinal herb for millennia. And so that's kind of significant to it. I'm going to go off the official description because one thing, an artistic point, and again, beautiful thing about the community flags that it's up for interpretation, is that if you look closely, it actually signifies a compass. Right. And I love it. I love it because it kind of shows that whether you're from Hillsboro or you're going away from Hillsboro, that it's Hillsboro's our home and that's where we belong. So
that's very
I love
cool.
it. Yeah, so that's the fun elements. And if you have a flag, show it off.
Yeah, love that. And this is the new scarf that was given out at the State of the City.
Yes, that's correct.
Celebrating the flag and our 150th anniversary, which is pretty great. So thanks for taking us through the elements of the flag. So I'd also love to talk about how it came to be. So it was through the Civic Leadership Academy. So do you mind talking just a little bit about the Academy and then maybe about this class and how the flag came about?
For sure.
Yeah.
So for folks who don't know, the Civic Leadership Academy is a 6-week city program that's completely free. And it's an opportunity for community members to just get involved with local government and the community. 6 weeks. It's a very short time, as you know, right? Graduated from the program. And we select a project of community importance, right? We're actually celebrating our 10-year anniversary. So speaking of anniversaries, I know it's 150 years, but we're celebrating 10 years of the
Civic Leadership Academy.
Civic Leadership Academy.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and we range from a variety of different projects. We've done balanced housing, so looking at housing within the community. We've looked at how do we update the 2035 community plan, and then as technical as council ward redistricting, right?
Yeah, that's
that was
right.
the first project that I had ever done within the city with Civic Leadership Academy specifically. And so we select a project of community importance, and the community members work on it. All the while, they're learning leadership skills, right? We have partners with Portland State University's Hatfield School of Government, Nationally Policy Consensus Center. So it's a mouthful. But
Yeah, but I remember those instructors came in when I was in the Civic Leadership Academy class.
Yes.
They came in to teach us not only about the topic we were learning or investigating, really,
Right.
but also how to work well with each other, how to work well with the community. It was great.
Key things like listening, right? Framing for collaboration. Those are all skills that we try and teach community members when participating in this academy. And this is one of the things that came about when it came to the project. And for how we select the project in itself is that we have this inventory of our strategic plan, right? Variety of different initiatives. And what really drove this one is 150th anniversary.
Oh, to have the flag for the 150th. Yeah.
Yes.
So the 2025 Civic Leadership Academy class got tasked with developing a community flag.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
And they had 6 weeks to do it.
Right.
So they started with a blank page, and they were all pretty much strangers. They come together, led by you, and also getting some instruction from the folks, the professors at Portland State University.
Mm-hmm.
And then how did you get toward the flag?
Right.
To take strangers to say, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah. Well, the academy takes place in the fall, but there's so much pre-work that happens prior to that.
Right,
and this is something that we've never done before. I'll flag that, right?
You'll flag it?
I'll flag it. Exactly.
Call it out.
I'll flag it. That we've never done this before.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily starting from just kind of a fresh slate. We wanted the community members to come in, the Civic Leadership Academy, to have some sort of understanding of what community is looking for. And so even prior to starting the academy, we had asked community, hey, we're thinking about creating a community flag. What should be on this flag, right? What colors should be on it? What are some of the things like icon-wise, symbolism-wise that you want to see in it?
Right.
And we had some really great folks on the team. Again, didn't do this alone. Our city buddies who help out with the
There's
academy.
city staff that are buddies to them. That's right. Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
it's city staff assisting the Civic Leadership Academy, answering any questions that they may have, and then really just supporting the project as well. So Rachel Lanier, Nick Baker, and Jenny Granillo, they're fantastic, and they were able to answer the questions. And they also did a lot of data analysis, right? So from that preliminary survey, when asking community members, hey, what do you all want to see? We were able to extract kind of key themes coming out of that and present it to the academy and say, hey, academy, this is our starting point, right? And I would be remiss to say that another key resource that we had utilized is Ted Kay's Good Flag, Bad Flag. He is a vexillologist. That's a new word that I learned throughout this process.
Okay.
He's an expert on flags.
Huh.
And that was
What's the word again?
Vexillology.
Vexillology.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, new vocabulary for the
Yeah.
day.
No, I know.
Right?
I'm ready for trivia night.
There you go. Yeah, it can come up. It can totally come up. You never know.
So,
But
so that,
he's- yeah,
go ahead. No, go for it. So he helped.
His resource really helped.
Okay.
Because we could have gone, two-sided flag. I know that was something
That's a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
People were like, can we have words on the
Well,
flag?
Oregon is a two-sided flag, one of the
That's
few,
correct.
right? And I think the only flag that has an animal on it.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes. And so he gave a lot of guidance on his resource. Keep it simple, keep it a few different colors, not too many colors, just a really good foundation for us. And so that really helped the Civic Leadership Academy get a good foundation in starting on the project.
Right. Get focused.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So you work through different designs, and then you get down to 3.
Yes.
And so how did the group agree on 3 flags?
Consensus building.
Okay.
That's a really big part of, the Civic Leadership Academy, is when you take 12 to 13 different strangers and you tell them, hey, let's work together. How do you do that? And so part of the challenge too, I will say, Mayor, is that how do you take words like unity and welcoming and apply it to an icon, right? How do you do that? So there was an exercise that we actually had done where we take the key themes and we had asked, what from the words that were selected, what are some of the things that come out? So symbolism-wise, color-wise, and our amazing graphic designer, Jenny Granillo, took the feedback that they had received or that they provided and was able to kind of translate into a flag, which is, it's a very difficult thing to do. So I just give her huge kudos to be able to do that.
That's incredible. So I was going to ask you about some of the challenges, and it sounds like taking all these ideas from 12 to 13 different members, plus all the advice, right? That's a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. Okay. So even, I mentioned the survey in the beginning, the Academy within the 6 weeks that they had, they also engaged with stakeholders that they had identified. And on the October 21st council meeting, I'm trying to find a note here because I remember
that council meeting.
They spent about 460 combined hours to not only engage with community members, but to also participate in the Academy. So I say that because this Academy is dedicated and they're fantastic and they were the right people to do this job and couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah,
so.
I'm very grateful for the students of that Academy and what they went through to get us to this point.
Right.
Yeah. So you get to 3 flags, and I remember they came before City Council to present them. And they went through each of them and the different elements, and then they recommended that it go to a community vote.
Yes.
And the City Council said, that sounds great. Yeah. Yes. And so they went to a community vote. And did the community vote go as you expected?
I didn't know what to expect.
Really? You were just
no idea. No idea. Yeah.
You weren't leaning one way or the other?
Nope.
No?
Nope. I liked all of them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'll just say that I'm really happy with the one that turned out to be the community flag.
All right.
So, how about you? Did you?
Yeah. So I love Trillium, and I love the nod to the indigenous folks that came before us.
Yes.
And I'm also partial to compasses and their meaning. So I was kind of leaning toward that one. But I didn't say. I just cast my vote.
Love it.
Yep.
As you should, right? As you should. I love it.
Yeah. So we went through this process. The community voted on it, and this was far and away. It wasn't a close vote, right? So, do you remember the percentages?
There was about 4,200 community members who voted.
4,200 community members, and what percent did this get? Do you remember?
Can't remember the top of my head.
Okay, I thought it was like in the 70s.
It was. Yeah. I wouldn't say it was a landslide, but it was very evident that this was going to be the community flag.
Right. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And so now, where will we see it? In addition to your scarf.
Yes. Yeah. In a scarf. It's going to be, the actual flag itself is in a Hillsboro Civic Center out in the plaza.
Yeah.
But it's also available on the website. So you can actually download it as a digital file and make art with it. You can show it off. You can do whatever you would like. We just ask that, if you are going to redo it, maybe as a sticker or put it on a mug or a work of art, that you do it correctly.
Right.
So you don't want, you don't want like the Trillium to be up here and like for this to be smaller, that kind of thing. So
right. Don't mess with the design.
Exactly.
Yeah. Respect the flag.
Respect the flag. Yeah. Or we'll have to flag it.
I love it.
So bad.
That's okay. Corny jokes are welcome.
Yeah, love it.
So is there anything else you wanted to share with us about the process of the flag that was on your mind?
Yeah, I'm just really proud of this. This is something that I think is needed, right? It stemmed from the 2035 community plan. So community has been asking for it, actually paired up with another initiative that talked about naming Hillsboro residents. So we're like one thing at a time. We're going to do the flag first.
Oh, right. Like Hillsboroians or Hillsdoers or Hillsboroites.
Yeah, there's
okay. That's but that's not for now.
Yeah, that's for another time.
Okay.
And so this is something that community has been wanting for a while, and the fact that we get to do it for 150th anniversary, and folks can interpret it as they see fit. Maybe they don't see a compass, maybe they see something else. And it's been a really great experience, and I just want to thank everyone who not only voted on this, but was able to share their thoughts on what this flag should look like, whether it be through the Civic Leadership Academy or just a survey itself. We had a really great team, and I don't think we could have done this without the community and everyone else.
But you led that team, so thank you, Michaela, for your work. And thanks to everybody, for all of you who engaged, whether it was the survey or Civic Leadership Academy or whatever it might be. But now we can enjoy the flag in our community.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us today, Michaela, and for the work you did to bring us our flag.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And thanks to all of you for joining us here today at Community Conversations to learn about our new Hillsboro flag. Take care.